I'm not here for any clickbait talk, and there won't be any clickbait titles. There are currently many stereotypes circulating regarding Solana, specifically concerning whether or not the project is actually a scam. The market price as of right now, on this day of April 27th, is hovering somewhere between $80 and $90 for each Solana token, and over the course of the last 6 months, the value has plummeted from literally $160 all the way down to $60. Then it eventually climbed back to around $80 or $90. Today, I want to share what Solana is, how it's used, and where the real money is hidden. I'll show you exactly how to make a significant profit within the Solana network right now. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Captain Sol. I'm 23 years old. I'm from a small town. There were about 5,000 people living there. I had no idea what cryptocurrency was or how it worked. I've taken some heavy losses over the last 2 years. I lost around $50,000 just testing various hypotheses, but for the last 6 months, I've been able to earn consistently in the area where I'm actually good, and that is specifically Solana. Right now, I am consistently bringing in well over $10,000 every single month. My peak earnings on the Solana network reached around $70,000 from one single coin in just 1 month. That is exactly why you really ought to be listening to what I have to say. So those of you who don't believe it can just turn off this video right now. That's your problem. All the proof is in my Telegram channel. Feel free to subscribe. The link will be below. Anyway, what is Solana really? Let me show you in a nutshell. There's this great service called Dex Screener. Let's head over and take a look. Right now, the trading volume on Solana is around 15 billion a day. That seems like a lot, doesn't it? On Ethereum, it's a bit less, 1.2 billion, which is actually a lot as well. And Binance Smart Chain is a pretty good network too. I don't think so. Somewhere between 2 and 3 billion in daily volume is actually pretty good. But why do people still think Solana is a scam? Honestly, Solana is considered one of the fastest networks out there. Let's talk about the current state of Solana. So as of right now, Solana is the fastest network operating in the blockchain space compared to BNB and Ethereum. In my opinion, Solana is the fastest network. It's not for nothing that Solana is currently being integrated into the MasterCard and Visa ecosystems. I think by 2026, this will be a reality and people will be able to experience much faster transactions than they do now. Solana will be implemented. It's really cool. I think this will have a positive impact on the price of Solana itself, so that's great. Objectively, Solana is currently winning in terms of volume because it has high transaction speeds and because there are quite a lot of projects. Why is Solana still considered such a scam? To be honest, if you cut through all the noise about what is going on, it is important to understand why this narrative exists among traders. The explanation for this is actually very simple. It is all thanks to a wonderful platform that is known as Pump Fund. So what exactly is this Pump Fund platform? If you strip away all the chaotic noise from the traders and everyone else, and you come to understand why Solana is essentially a total scam in 95% of cases, then perhaps we owe a very big thank you to the entire Pump Fund team. What is Pump Fund? In a nutshell, Pump Fund is a system that allows anyone to quickly create a coin for literally pennies. I can create a coin here, you can create a coin, it doesn't matter, and accordingly, the number of such coins per day is definitely around 1 million. They get created, they die, you could click on any of them right now, but I'm not going to do that. So, you're actually able to witness brand new digital coins being created in literally just a matter of a few short seconds. Now, the Pump Fund platform itself is not inherently a scam, but because it is so incredibly easy for anyone to get into, a massive number of these new tokens pop up every single day without any fail at all. That's exactly why it's considered such a fast platform. So, what is Pump Fund in a nutshell? Because it's a platform that lets anyone create a coin for $2, launch it on the Solana network, and then people can buy, sell, trade it, and so on. But 99.9% of these coins that launch on Pump Fund and similar platforms like Radium, Pump Fund just happens to be the most popular one, die very quickly. Why do they die so quickly? The answer to that question is actually quite simple. It really comes down to the complete unreliability of the developers involved. Basically, the team just creates a new coin, generates a massive amount of hype around it, perhaps buys some paid advertisements from influencers on X, and then they just dump all of their bags and the price crashes accordingly. I'm going to show you down below exactly what that process looks like in practice.
So, it looks something like this. A few candles up, the coin launches, goes through some migration, and after people sell their bags here, the dev team, the price just tanks. Is it a scam? Frankly, yes, it's a scam. And because the Pump Fund team created such a simple platform for anyone to easily get started, there are a lot of them. So the network itself seems, on the whole, to be scammy, but in reality, that's not the case.
I'd like to add one more thing. Many people think that there's some kind of technical analysis on networks like Solana, BNB, and so on. I've just pulled up a coin here. So what exactly are we looking at here? This really has nothing to do with technical analysis at all. It is simply a matter of narrative, a matter of pure hype coming from news on X or other platforms. And quite accordingly, that is exactly how the whole situation appears to us. Let us consider some popular cryptocurrency that has been dumped rather significantly. So it is actually quite easy to do that right here, let's say, over the course of the last hour. Well, what exactly was really going wild over there? It was probably some of those popular coins, I would imagine. I mean, if we decide to take a look at a coin like Walt, let's just take a much closer look at it right now. Would we be able to call that a scam or what? Probably not. Let's take the hourly chart. Why is it that technical analysis doesn't work anyway? You see, technical analysis actually does work quite well on fundamental assets, for example, things like gold, Pepe, maybe even Bitcoin, Ethereum, or even Solana. Yes, technical analysis really does work on those kinds of fundamental projects. However, the specific projects built within the Solana ecosystem are honestly just a total myth. I mean, sure, we can certainly sit here and draw some fancy Fibonacci charts, sketch things out, and so on, but in reality, there is absolutely no point to any of it. I mean, none at all. It's completely pointless. Today we've got a 200% ledge, the 100% pump here, followed by a 90% dump. That's a pretty standard scenario for all these projects, as if that's just how it is. Still, the main question is, who's actually making money in all this? In reality, there are a few groups that are actually making money. Well, first off, it's definitely the devs, the development teams that launch projects on Pump.fun, Radium, or any other platforms on Solana. And even then, you really have to put in a lot of hard work for a project to truly take off. Who else is able to make some serious money? Well, of course, it is a sniper bot. So every project has these sniper bots that buy up a project right at launch. It's probably pretty hard to show that here right now, but anyway, that's not the point. The moment a project launches, take something like Spike, for instance, and mind you, this is not an advertisement, so please do not even think about buying it. We need a coin that has only just launched. Brand new projects. We are able to take any one of these various projects and clearly see who is actually making some real money. The price chart hasn't even been drawn up yet. It is most likely just another completely dead project. This is exactly what those coins that are just launching tend to look like in the beginning. Right here, we can observe some early pre-trading activity. We see developer buys, automated bot buys, and so on. So this is really a prime example of how these automated bots actually work in the market. Since we've established that technical analysis doesn't work, who is actually profiting within the Solana project? Well, first off is the development team. Of course, they launch various new projects, which means they hold a supply of tokens themselves. Later, when they introduce the project to the public, people see it, start buying in, and naturally, their holdings increase in value. This is standard practice. I believe development teams need to take a responsible approach, first to creation and second to the distribution of packages, that is, proper packaging. In other words, it shouldn't be the case that they control 90% of the supply. As soon as someone buys in, they sell immediately. That is a scam in every sense of the word. We absolutely condemn this. I mean, the developers are making money. Yes, that's really the case. Who else is making money here? Well, of course, we're talking about bots. I mean, there are various sniper bots that buy into a project literally for pennies, right at the very bottom. That's at a 3,000 market cap, 4,000 market cap, and so on. They buy and sell automatically, spotting a tiny margin before selling. It is a system run by the big players. I mean, they aren't just buying this project, they are buying up everything. Who else is making all the money? Of course, it is the whales. So, if you have been involved in the crypto space for a while and you understand how the Solana infrastructure works, you have likely seen how these KOLs make their money. Very often, they are sold a portion of the token supply in exchange for promoting a project on their various social media channels, whether that happens to be Twitter, X, Instagram, or Telegram. This is considered standard practice. The one thing that bothers me here is that if you happen to run into some sort of color idiot, they will end up alienating their entire audience. Let me provide you with a clear example. The dev team buys promotion from an influencer, for example, on Telegram. The influencer gets an allocation. Yeah, it could be 0.5%, 0.1%, 1%, and so on. It doesn't matter. They shield this coin to their followers. They start buying, and as soon as the price goes up by 10, 15, 20, 30, 50, or 100%, the developer just dumps it. These influencers are just a scam, so try not to fall for them. Actually, what really works? We have a few narratives that, in principle, work in this whole space. These are news narratives. Yes, for example, Donald Trump becoming president of the United States. It's a major event, a news event. Consequently, this story can take off on the hype. The information agenda is being handled quite interestingly. I often talk about this in my Telegram group as well. Sometimes I work on these kinds of projects and it turns out pretty well. You need to have a strategy for this. If the project is good, the information agenda is clear, and overall we see that the developer is acting reasonably, then sometimes I do work with such projects. Of course, memes, how could we do without them? Memes are that space where thousands of projects are born every day, hundreds of projects every hour, and so on. So that's a standard. Memes are just too unpredictable. I mean, we never know what's really going to take off, like Pepe, and what's going to die out, like PSY. Yeah, there was a meme project like that back in the day, but unfortunately, or fortunately, it died out pretty quickly. Then we also have the utility narrative, some new technology on the Solana blockchain, or some development within the Solana ecosystem, or development using other networks like Ethereum, and so on. I mean, utilities come in all shapes and sizes. I definitely can't cover all of them right now. In probably 95% of the cases I handle, I work on utility projects. Why is that? Because I am an IT professional, and because I have been doing this for quite a long time, I truly understand how this market operates. From an expert perspective, I can explain, demonstrate, and assess the potential success or failure of this technology. This is standard practice. Therefore, I start by evaluating the nature of the development and its narrative. I check the development team's entire technical stack, see what percentage they hold in their wallets, and conduct a full technical analysis of the project. Only then do I make a decision. That is generally how I work. It's important to understand, this isn't a magic money button. In any case, any utility can be alive today and dead tomorrow. There have been plenty of projects like that. One example, perhaps, is the wall project. We already mentioned it today. Overall, it's an interesting development, but sometimes a project just doesn't take off. This is exactly what we are looking at right now. Can this project actually grow? Well, of course it certainly can. Or could it die out completely and drop down to a $5,000 market cap? It is entirely possible, you see. That is why, for better or for worse, there is no money button to be found here. Let's bring this discussion to a close quite briefly now. The Solana blockchain network is certainly not a scam. Believe me, you can definitely generate a significant profit if you try. My personal stats prove it, and my team is earning money right along with me every single day. This, in essence, provides a clear picture of the current narrative we are seeing. However, what is truly unfortunate and deeply disheartening is the staggering number of rug pulls, the overwhelming volume of malicious scammers, and all these opportunistic players just trying to make a quick buck and dump their holdings. I personally refer to them as nothing more than casino players. At the end of the day, for me, Solana is certainly not a casino. In other words, it's a predictable, straightforward network where you can figure out how to make money. It all depends on how you work with the network. I recorded this video based solely on my own experience. You might have had a different experience. Maybe you're good at capitalizing on memes, news cycles, or something else. Share in the comments what you like or dislike about Solana and what you agree or disagree with me on. I have also put together a comprehensive free guide for you. You are welcome to download this guide by clicking the link provided in the description below, where I explain my personal workflow and how I manage these specific utilities. Essentially, it contains a lot more technical information for those interested.
For those who are interested, for those who really want to learn how to make money from this, please click the link. It's completely free. And also, subscribe to my Telegram channel. In it, I share free coins that I personally work on, track, and trade myself, where I am as transparent and honest as possible about where I managed to make a profit and where I didn't. Thanks guys. Bye everyone. Because honestly, it just looks terrible.